the biggest topic going about right now is the fallout from the early Jake Paul, Nate Diaz press conference that went down. Let's be honest, it was a bit of a shit show.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Again, like you always see this, that you see it a lot. I think people really underestimate how difficult it is to put on and promote a combat sports event when it comes down to organizing good press conferences. Stuff like the hotels and all this, people like the little things that people overlook.
Yeah.
When you're putting on these events, it seems to happen all the time. I think there's a very select few people on the planet Earth who can actually successfully run a boxing business. But yeah, it was just a bit of a shit show. It was a bit amateurish. Obviously they had the question, like that guy Derek
Yeah.
from
That's the big one, isn't it? Derek from Betr Media said that he'd beat up Nick Diaz if he fought anything like Nate does.
Hey guys, Derek from Betr Media here. My question's for Nate. Nate, I'm actually a boxer myself, and I've been trying to get into this undercard. I'm just wondering if you think I could fight your brother Nick. If he's anything like you, I think I'd beat his fucking ass.
Brother, where you just gonna walk around the streets or some shit? You know, all my homeboys see you right now.
Yeah,
That was stupid, huh?
I'm definitely pretty nervous right now.
Yeah.
First of all, do you think that he was doing that as like a bit from Jake? Because obviously he works for Jake's company. Is he planted there? Yeah.
100. There's no way that Jake Paul didn't know about that, because I've seen these guys pop up on like I've seen them together, and it's like I think he realized that didn't go over very well and kind of kept his mouth shut. And it's like, this is what Jake Paul and all his team think of fighters and people involved. Like this is like, but I care about fighters and fighter pay and all this rubbish, which is just used to further his agenda. I just think it's like he totally was involved. What did you think?
Yeah. Obviously it's a Jake Paul involved fight, so like there's gonna be stuff like that going on. But when you've got really legitimate media members, like guys like Mark Raymundi and Oscar Willis was there, and when they're all on press row asking questions and whatnot, and then you've got guys like this Derek chap coming in, I don't know, it reflects badly, I think.
Yeah.
Especially when Jake's saying, I do all this for boxing and whatnot, I should be in the Hall of Fame for what I've done for boxing. I don't know.
He's
just
not even fought. Oh, I do so. You've not see when he starts talking, it makes me want to throw up in my mouth. He just talks rubbish the whole time. Doesn't know what he's talking about. But this is the thing. It's like, this is the issue with MMA media and combat sports media, is no one will question this. No one questions him. No one really pulls him up properly, because as much as there's great journalists involved who go to the stuff week by week, a lot of the time it's like, if you ask difficult questions, particularly in the UFC and the UFC kind of press world, you're not going to get your credentials next week. And it's like, so that's the issue we see you see all the time in these big UFC press conferences. Oh, I'm from whatever betting. Are you a lock tonight? Shut up,
don't
mate.
even.
That's because real journalists and real media members are not allowed to put forward difficult questions. So it's
I will say, did you see the bloke at the press conference after the last weekend's pay-per-view talking to Dana about slap fighting?
Oh, I think I saw a clip of it. You're not going to see him again.
I know.
Have you heard of him before? No.
He was brilliant though. Like, really just like called Dana out. Dana saying that Slap is bringing in more views. Was it more views or more social media hits or whatever than all the other sports combined? Not even like individual like NFL and whatnot.
Absolutely insane.
That's
what real media members are supposed to do, though. That is what would happen if real media members were allowed at these events. And people weren't, because it's not like that. It's difficult. It's hard to say that, because a lot of these guys want to, but they know that their access will be restricted next time. So it's like guys like Oscar Willis and stuff like that, they would love to ask these questions, and they're not stupid people. It's just that they
Yeah.
also know that if they put forward difficult questions, the likelihood of them getting an interview with White or whoever else is pretty slim next time, you
Yeah.
know? But
Yeah, 100%. If you watch like I think F1 is the one that comes to mind, but also some Premier League interviews and stuff, like press scrums and whatnot. The press don't pull punches.
Nope.
And they will go in on the people responsible for if it's a county outlet where their manager is not doing well, they will let him know about it. If it's an F1 thing where one of the directors, he's not been pulling his weight or making the right moves, they will get roasted out there.
Yeah.
But I think that's partly because you have like these sort of, I don't know, governing bodies or whatever that are setting these things up rather than the promotion itself.
Yeah. They're separate from, but the UFC is its own entity, and they control but it doesn't. And it's like if a media member came out and said, "Oh, well, the UFC's not letting me," it's not a surprise, so they don't care. It's like, but then if you're found out, you found out that the Premier League were severely mistreating media members, there'd be a big deal about it. There'd be a bigger deal about it, and they'd need to apologize, give people credentials back, all this kind of stuff. But you just don't see it. And like, man, and what annoys me is like Ariel Helwani. Now, I like Ariel, and I think he does a lot of good work. But he talks about journalistic integrity. But what he'll do is he'll take a paycheck from Jake Paul, and in my opinion, does not question him. I mean, near enough, hard enough when he interviews him. Oh, he's so good. Oh, he does so much for fighter pay, but isn't willing to ask him difficult questions.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. He's the leading he's the leading, I don't know, journalist in the sport. You know, he's the most successful ever. And I think he does a lot of great work, but it's just stuff like that. I'm like, what Jake Paul did and what this Betr guy did is absolutely disgraceful. It's so disrespectful. It makes media members look bad. It reflects badly on boxing and MMA as a whole. And like, I don't know. Does it shock me? No. Both Paul brothers have showed repeatedly bad character choices. I'm not saying they've made mistakes. They've repeatedly shown that they're not like trustworthy or good people, whether it's shilling these crypto scams or I don't know, hyper marketing to young children and all this kind of stuff. You know, it like, but no one questions it. It's all just allowed to continue.
There was a really bad crypto scam with Logan. Shout out to CoffeeZilla. He does like documentaries on those. He did a really good breakdown. Go check that out because some dodgy stuff going on with that.